ladies and gents that are in the room. What the hell is she doing in a gown? I saw that look from some of you during the break, and I thought, yeah, this is right. I have something in common with the Duchess of Cambridge. You wouldn't think that when you stand, or rather sit there, looking at me over here. But I do. Hyperemesis gravidarum. Yeah, it's a horrible word. Even pronouncing, it doesn't roll off the tongue nicely. It just doesn't quite seem to fit. Now, I'd like you for a moment to just think of a pregnant woman. And I want to ask you, what sort of images come to mind? You can raise your hand if I touch on something that you can relate to. Do you think of a swollen belly? Anyone? There's some nods. You think of smiles. You think of happy times, maybe cute little booties. This is an exciting period. That's what's out there. Pregnancy, beautiful experience. You are bringing life into the world. Hallelujah. Morning sickness. Yeah, that's a side thing, Something that happens in the morning. It's physical. You get over it. Nothing major. It's just morning sickness, right? I laugh because that's how I felt when I returned to work after 3 months of being at home, dressed like this. On a good day, this is when I could actually find the strength to get up. This is what I looked like. Minus the lipstick, of course. Minus the glasses. I couldn't have been bothered to see further than my toilet bowl, really. Hyperemesis was the thing that my husband and I almost joked about. We called it the yellow monster. The yellow monster was what I would see after about maybe 4, 5, God knows how many visits to the Porcelain King, retching my guts out. It was bile. Have you seen yours? Have you experienced it that way? Maybe sometimes that was just before the droplets of blood. Pregnancy was not this beautiful experience for me. In fact, it was nothing like that. I had hoped, expected, thought that, pregnancy is going to be amazing. Lauryn Hill, Zion, I could sing it, and oh, now the joy of my world. But no. I had Rihanna's What Now? I stood in the shower and it replayed over and over and over again. I'm a music person. I think in pictures. I feel in music. And the lines of her song that said, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I don't know. There wasn't a lot of feedback and a lot of images out there that spoke to where I was at. Pregnancy was the deepest, darkest period of my life. There were days, quite frankly, and it always feels a bit odd sharing this, but this is the reality of it. I would descend the stairs from our apartment going to work, and I would think, dear God, if I happen to miss a step today and I miscarry, it's okay. In fact, I might say thank you. Not because I didn't want my now gorgeous son, but because the gravity, the experience, the weight of carrying this was too much. Silence. That's what it felt like. There weren't a lot of people you could relate to. Where were you? Well, I had hyperemesis. Hyper-a-who? I didn't bother to learn how to pronounce the second half of the word, quite frankly, because who cared? The textbook couldn't relate what I was going through in words. Severe morning sickness is what it would say. And if you look for someone who they refer to when you think of this condition, it's Kate Middleton. Do you think of pajamas when you think of Kate Middleton? I don't. She's a picture of flawlessness. She's infallible. She's perfect. She's a princess. Duchess, correction. But here I was, in this lonely place, and I remember my sister saying to me, you should diarize this process. You should document it. And I thought, if you don't have anything nice to say, maybe you shouldn't say it. I didn't want my son to come across 10, 15, I don't know, kids grow up really fast these days, maybe 6 years from now, and think, maybe my mom didn't want me. I was afraid to put that out there. I, like many other bloggers, felt a lot of guilt, a lot of shame. Who was I to almost spit in the face of the Creator and say, this gift you gave me, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for this. Can I really take this on? So, day after day, instead of writing, I would trawl through blogs, blog after blog, day after day, after hour after hour after hour. Not looking for a cure, because, let's face it, they would tell you there is none. Your best hope is just to believe that you'll get through it. So that's what I did. I lived vicariously on really bad days. I just read on blogs about women who'd had extremely tough times, who'd been in hospital more than just my 2 or 3 times on an IV drip that they called jet fuel. Women who had other children to look after. I mean, gosh, this was my first one. What did I have to complain about? And that gave me hope that I can do this. I can get through it. My sister's been through it. She has 2 beautiful children. It must be worth it in the end. So, after a while of consuming and consuming, taking in everybody else's experiences, and finally getting through to the finish line, I thought, wait, there's got to be more to it than this. I can't keep consuming and taking on when there were others who've walked this journey. They've been there before me, and if it wasn't for their stories, for their lifelines, goodness knows where half of us would be. So I discovered at that point in time that I too needed to venture out. Brave hearing those voices, the naysayers, how could you be so ungrateful? You're able to carry life kind of people. And I figured I would share my story. It's real. It's out there. The Duchess of Cambridge is far away, but me here in my pajamas, which my mother would disapprove of, I would tell you. That's more real. That's home, because in my pajamas, you don't see a perfect picture of a woman who's managed to make it through the day. It becomes a little bit more real. You can think that, pajamas is all you can do today. Rest and get through today is all you can do. And hope that tomorrow it'll stop. It'll be easier. You can smile. Maybe even talk to your preggy buddies who are able to post blogs about food and Instagram photos of what they can eat when I'm crying for water. I thought, well, there need to be more voices out there, and I thought I would start and share it. So yes, I, in my pajamas and bedroom flops, am like the Duchess of Cambridge. I am real, and so is hyperemesis. So the next time you come across a pregnant lady, by all means, please, I know we love to give good advice. You know have you tried ginger? You've heard that one. Maybe try a cracker. Maybe try this. Maybe try that. Maybe let's not try, have you tried? Maybe let's just be there and support and say, you're in your PJs today. What are we watching? And just be.